Hello and welcome to the Cat Collective. I'm Nina, I'm the channel for this channel, and let's start. Netcaster. Preparations come to fruition. Okay. Eyes of the Eagle, rising above the fray. Ah, well. And Fortune's Wheel, luck and right timing. Okay. Oh. And Dream Thief, refusal of the call. Okay, that's interesting. That this card comes up. I don't know what to think about this card, to be honest. Let's see what's underneath it. Root Girl. The disowned self. Okay, yeah, makes sense. So, yeah, let's see. What else we got? Oh, yeah. Oh, do you want to come? Okay, oh. Which way? Yeah. Divine timing. Access. And the void. Yeah, it really looks like the refusal of one call, in a way. It's like the end of a journey. This really looks like the end of, refusal of the call means for me, that you want to put an end to something that has been calling you because of this card, right? And the ghost and everything. It's like, yeah, you just want to put an end to a long journey that has been, I think, for you beneficial. But also, when you are outgrowing a journey and you just don't want to participate in this journey anymore, and you refuse to do so, right? I think then you can look back and see that you've been in a journey that, or that you walked a path that was long and what's it called? A winding road, like a winding road. It's a road through a maze, right? So I think what you are doing is looking back to a journey and saying that you are leaving the journey. With this, it's like, okay, I'm leaving this journey behind because it is not my journey anymore, right? And it just means that your journey has been preparing you for something, for a new journey, right? And the new journey, that's the thing that's maybe a little bit frustrating for you at this point in time, is that your new journey, since you are the creator of the universe, of your own universe, right? That the new journey seems so long, and with the timing card, right? It still seems that there's so much work ahead for your new journey, right? But nonetheless, you I think when you look back and you look at the journey that you've been walking on, when you look down the valley and you see where you are already at, you might be tempted to rest, right? Because when you've been walking a long path, and you arrive somewhere, right? And then you sit down and then you think, well, that's that then, I guess. But, you know, you sit there for a while and you look back and you look around and you notice that the journey is, one part of the journey has come to an end. But there's still so much more for you. And I think there's some sort of sadness in this, because when you've been walking a long journey and you're still not there where you want to be, I think there's a lot of sadness because, you know, when you look further, you see how much work there's still ahead, right? It's this time card. It's this, well, you know, it's this, oh my, I just arrived here and now I'm feeling really the need to move further, right? And it could be that you just also walked a path where you didn't know where you would end up, right? And you've come far. I think it's just that you need to go further, and maybe now you see some idea of a destination. Maybe now you know, and it seems to me it has to do something with the nature of you, your nature. It's not just a flower, right? It is also what the flower consists of. And when you are completely honest with yourself, with what your true nature is, who you really are, if you're honest with yourself, you know that there's a path for you ahead that you haven't been walking, but you know that this is the only way for you to reach your core. Right? It's the only way for you to fill some sort of void that you, I don't think that there's, what's the saying? We just call it void because we don't know what it is full of. That's a quote from a comic series, actually, that I looked at with some aliens, I don't know. Yeah, anyway, so don't know the name of the creator, so, but it's this feeling, you know, when you leave something behind that you don't know is not you, not truly your full nature, not what you really want, you know. There's no one outside of you that can say this is what you need to do, right? This is your destiny, whatsoever. It's something that you have to decide for yourself. And it is very personal, and it has nothing to do with the pentacle, right? Because this pentacle, this looks like a, even though it's supposed to be a wheel, but it's like you don't want to do it for the pentacle, for the coin, for the money. You just want to do it because it is in your nature, right? And that's the key to find and fill your void, right? It's about doing it for yourself, even though it feels just sad because you're still looking back at the journey you already walked on, I think. You know, I think if you knew before the journey started what you would do by the end of the first part, right? You also think, well, it was a waste of time, maybe. But it was not, because it was preparing you to go on a new journey. And it gave you a lot of wisdom and just, it's a part of exploration, right? And maybe the new journey is also something you question now because of the journey you already walked, right? You know, when you've been on a long way, right? And you now know that all of this was kind of, well, it brought you somewhere, but, you know, it's when you stand there now and you look back and you're like, well, there's so much time that has been wasted and all of this, right? And then you look at the new journey that you pick for yourself and you think, well, is it the right journey this time? Is it fulfilling? Is it something you really want to do? Or is it just another tool to get you somewhere where you didn't know you would end up? And I have the feeling that there's much more to it, right? So, of course, you know, when you pick a path and you walk it, you again learn new things and discover yourself even more, right? It's just, I think that you are tired, right? And but this looks really promising somehow because of this card, rising above the fray. You know, when you just explore, right, life and yourself, and it will give you another insight into what life has in store for you, right? And so therefore you have to walk the path. You don't want to walk back, and you don't want to sit where you are, right? So there's nothing left except for leaving the old way and doing the new way, right? So clearly there is some luck for you on the table, right? And it's really a golden path. And somehow I also think, you know, because of this preparations thing, that if you really look back at what you've done, you know that those preparations were necessary to free you up enough so you are brave enough to take the new road, right? And it's just that the new path is a little bit more intimidating because you see how long the journey could be, and it's a huge commitment, right? It's a huge commitment. And I think at this point, because you probably took a lot of turns during your walk, right? You also are a bit in doubt because you don't know if you can commit to this for the rest of your lifetime. I think you want that, right? Because it is, you know, the arrival somewhere is intriguing, and it is somehow promising, but it is also just filled with self-doubt. because maybe you are not someone who commits to something for an infinite amount of time, right? It's this but still, nonetheless, even though you don't know what's ahead, I think you are walking it. And I just have the feeling that this path is also, again, just a tool to get you somewhere else where you don't know where you'll end up at. It's just it comes with a few elements that you want to add to your way forward, right? It's just I just have the feeling that it is, again, just a tool to get you somewhere. In a way. So yeah, it just seems that a tool to give you access to something more, and it has something to do with also spirituality. I think you can grasp that your path ahead is somehow, there's more depth to it than just walking, right? Because walking itself feels or looks a bit, well, it looks boring, right? If you just think about walking. But when you think about what all those unexpected things are that you will find along the way that you have no idea of, maybe you can grasp them, right? But, well, then you are just doing it. But all you need for now is to remove the self-doubt and all of that, because clearly if you are tired from the journey you walked already, and then you go forward and you start a new journey because there's nothing more to gain in the old one, right? Of course it is yet another one, right? And it gets tiring, but just be assured that your new journey is full of luck, and that's what you wanted all the time anyways, right? Luck and magic. Magic. Because look at that. Like, you don't know. That's the thing. I think you're just going this route and you don't know what's ahead. You don't know what's the slide. I think it's, it's the slide of, looks kind of, yeah. But maybe this is another mountain that you want to climb, and maybe you just, well, right? It's this, another mountain. Right? Yeah, but it's like you've collected nice things along the way, and you know that. Nice things that you wouldn't have had without the journey you've been walking on already. So it's just some words of encouragement, and it is incredibly beneficial to leave old things behind and start new things, right? It is. And it's also going back to what I said with nature. It's just going back to your roots, to who you really are, right? And I think even though you thought the journey you've been walking on was about introspection somehow, I think the new one goes much deeper, and this might be a little bit intimidating for you because it's going even further, right? But it really feels like it is less intimidating and scary or dark than you think. So I think the key is that I think the new journey is more filled with light than anything else because of this. It could be that you are standing in front of a door, or just you're wondering, well, what's ahead? But you look, there's the light shining through. It's just that you don't see it yet, right? And it's just a few steps along the way. When your feet are on the path and you're like, yeah, oh, okay, well, yeah, makes sense, right? And then your new journey is not intimidating anymore because you're standing on it and you're walking it, right? It's just when you stand in front of something that you think that is a lot, but it's actually not. So don't let your past hold you back. Yeah. That's just because what I said, it's this, you've walked a path that was long and windy, and now there's a new path ahead that you are really wanting to walk, but it seems like so much. And then you could be tempted to just stay where you are and sit, right? But this card just tells you that your past was valuable, and the new path is bringing the light, right? And it has also a lot of things to do with losing the past, right? When you are completely losing the past and abandoning everything you've been done so far, you've been doing, and just walking a new path. That's the journey of life, right? Yeah. What's that? New romantic cycle begins. Yeah, I think the new romantic cycle, then you are finally going somewhere where you want to go, on the journey of self-discovery. Of course, you also fall in love with yourself, right? Yeah, but this will also attract, right? It will attract a new romantic cycle, because that's what it's supposed to do also. So it's lovely. It has everything in store for you. Adjustments are required. Yeah. Adjustments, I think it's also about doing something completely differently. It's a total introspection and doing things for just yourself, right? And it is required because only this way you can discover the depth, right? And if you've been outwards focused so far, of course it's a different journey. You might be already a hermit, but this is even more hermit. This is like just you and you. Nothing else. Just you and you. And this might be a bit frightening or frightening in a way of, frightening of loneliness, even though you are not lonely when you are with yourself. You know, it's this half of the moon, and the other side of the moon is the universe, right? Look at the stars and all of that, right? It's beautiful. Yeah. And conclusions are within reach. Yeah. Yeah, it's so simple. I think it's the next leg of your journey is way more simple and less complex than previous to that, because when you are just with yourself and everything, and it seems like less complex, but I think it will get much more adventurous and beautiful than you might think, you know, because I think those trees are just the thought processes of what it might be. But if you look at this moon, look how beautiful and colorful it is, right? So yeah, of course, it's so simple, but it's so beautiful at the same time. So yeah, I hope this reading was helpful. Let's see who this reading is for. Taurus. Well, yeah. Additional info is in the litter box below, and see you next time. Bye bye.